Here we are again. Welcome to Comfort Food for Thought. I'm your host, Chris James, and I'm coming to you from the city by the sea, Asbury Park, New Jersey. We're taking a spiritual journey together here, 15 minutes at a time. We're looking at practical ways to apply spiritual and metaphysical concepts in everyday life. So let's see what we can find. I'm glad to have you along for the ride. So how you doing today, my friend? How's your heart? Feeling peaceful? Well, I hope you are, and nothing in the world is troubling you too much today. But I know some of you listening are not having the easiest time of it. Maybe you're having a rough day, rough week. Oh, I don't know. Maybe this whole year's been a challenge for you. I've had periods like that in my life for sure. Seems like every time you deal with one problem, another is right around the corner, right? Oh, that can get old fast. I know. Life can get complicated. So what do you say we sit together here and try and make some sense of it all? Now, last time we got together, we were talking about love and fear. Now, it's a pretty simple concept. If we want to be happy, we have to choose love over fear. Yeah, well, some days that's easier said than done, right? I know there were times in my life when fear came knocking, and as much as I didn't want to let it in, it just busted the door down. Feels like that, right? Oh, I know it does. So when you become overwhelmed with worry or anxiety, you're not going to be as open to somebody preaching philosophy, right? Maybe today's one of those days. And you want to just say, hey, James, keep your advice to yourself. Oh, I feel you. I've been there. Do me a favor. Just hear me out today. Oh, anxiety. It's one of the worst feelings there is. And when you're feeling like that, it just seems like it's never going to end, right? It's rough stuff. So to turn it around, we need something concrete, something practical, something that's going to work. So I'll tell you a little trick I use. Now bear with me, because this is going to be one of those things that sounds like at first it's not going to work, but it will, all right? So whenever I'm feeling anxious, I can tell you at certain points in my life it was a lot, but when I'm feeling anxious, I find the fastest way out of it is to do something for somebody else. I know, some of you are raising your eyebrows here. Stay with me. Don't change the station. Yes, I know. Some of you are saying, well, you know, my troubles are so big and I've got so much on my mind and I'm trying to figure out a solution to it all, and now you're telling me to go do something for somebody. Well, you know, I don't have anything left to give. I need someone to help me. Right? Sound familiar? Oh, I know. But look, I'll tell you something. And I don't tell you anything unless I've tried it myself. There's something that happens when we do for others. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be some big lofty thing. That's not what I'm saying. Look, it could be nothing more than a reassuring word to a friend or a compliment to a stranger. It could be tending a garden. Making the world a more beautiful place helps everyone feel happier, right? It could be doing something creative for somebody. You don't have to be Michelangelo. Just the act of doing something with someone else in mind is an act of love. That's what I'm talking about. And look, it's important to remember, everybody gets scared. Everybody gets anxious. Oh, I went through a period where, I was having these attacks of vertigo. They were so bad, I wasn't able to function. I couldn't walk. I couldn't drive. I'd get sick to my stomach. Oh, the whole thing. It was awful. I'd literally be incapacitated for hours. So needless to say, I became terrified of going anywhere. I couldn't go anywhere alone. These attacks would come out of nowhere. So every day, it was always in the back of my mind. What if it happens today? Oh, and I was petrified of it happening in some situation I couldn't escape from. That's where the anxiety really took over. The situation when it happened was bad enough, but the anxiety all the rest of the time waiting for it to happen, that was even worse. But I'll tell you something. There was a guy at my job, one of the sales guys, came to my office to see me one day after I had one of these attacks. We got talking, and, he was asking how I was, and, as the conversation went on, he shared some of his own life experiences with anxiety. It reminded me that it's a battle for everyone to some degree. because I couldn't even believe that this guy was anxious. He was so outgoing and funny, and nothing seemed to bother him. But the thing, I'll tell you, the thing that really moved me was that he looked me in the eye and he said, "If this ever happens at work again, you just call me. I'll come up to your office, help you walk, get you home, even if I have to carry you out of here. And I don't care if you're sick. My kids get sick in the car all the time. I'll get you home." What a guy. My friend Dallas. He's gone on to the other side since then, but I think about him every day, and how these loving words made me remember that I was not alone with my fear. So yes, everyone gets scared. Everyone feels anxiety about something. Courage is just the degree to which you face it and keep going. So let's keep going. You're not alone. So I'll tell you another story. It's a little lighter, but it's kind of a funny analogy of this concept. When I was young, we used to go to the boardwalk over in Long Branch. There was this big pier that had all kinds of amusements on it. It's not there anymore, but back in the day, it was a place to go. Well, the big attraction was the Haunted Mansion. Oh, it was terrifying. You'd walk through, and around every corner there would be some, scary thing. But the worst, the worst. There was a whole bunch of people working there that were, dressed up as monsters, and they'd jump out at you and follow you and chase you. Oh, it was something. I remember sometimes just the thought of what was waiting for me up ahead. I'd get so scared that I'd feel paralyzed, and it was hard to even take a step. But then, of course, someone dressed as a monster would come up behind you, and you'd be moving forward again. Panic. Sounds a little like life sometimes, right? Doesn't it? Feels like you're in a haunted house full of monsters, right? Well, anyway, I remember this one time. We were going through, same story, scared to death, and we came upon a young couple in there, and they were terrified. The girl was crying and wanting to get out, and the guy, big guy, bigger than me, I think he was just as scared. So I remember I told them, you guys can walk behind me, so when the actors jump out, I'll take the brunt of it. Well, these two, they literally held onto the back of my shirt all the way through. But something funny happened, and I'll never forget it. All of a sudden, my own fear disappeared. The monster still jumped out, and there was still, scary stuff around every corner, but my fear was gone. What happened? Yeah, simple as it was. I was thinking of somebody else. I was like protecting these two strangers I met, I was trying to comfort them, who at first were just as scared as I was. So I'm sure you've felt that too. When you're in a situation and someone is more frightened than you are, it kind of gives you strength, right? You commit to comforting another, and it gives you both strength. That's the power of love right there. So, it's kind of a silly example, but this is the idea I'm talking about. Do a little something for somebody when you're feeling scared. I'm not telling you to join the Peace Corps. I'm just telling you to try and get out of your own head. And one of the best ways to do that is by giving the gift of your love to somebody else. And who knows? They might be having an even worse day than you. Wouldn't it be great if you were the one that helped turn it around? Sometimes it's the little things that make all the difference. That little kindness you do, that person might remember that and take comfort in that forever. Now, you might still be saying, I hear you from here. You might be saying, wait a second. I'm the one who's hurting. I'm the one who's lonely or sick or down on my luck. I need a gift. I don't need to be told to give something away. I've got to hold on to what little I've got. Yeah, well, I don't blame you for feeling that way. But that's fear talking. And the more we let it talk, the longer it's going to hang around. But we're going to turn the light on here, because that's how you get rid of darkness. So there's let's call it a spiritual law at work here. When we give something away, even the smallest thing, with the intention of making another person happy, what we gain is even greater. Happiness, love, reassurance, understanding, acceptance, comfort, peace, thoughtfulness. These are like the most valuable things in the whole world. People work their whole lives and spend their hard-earned money all in the pursuit of these things. Isn't it great to know that these things are always yours to give away? And better yet, They don't cost you a thing. In fact, the more we give them, the more we have them, and the more they grow in our hearts. Think about that. I love that idea. The more we give love, the more we have it. So one of the absolute best things for depression and anxiety is to do for others. Like I said, the benefits are twofold. First, you get the focus off yourself. And second, you open the door for spirit to touch your heart and soul. When your heart is filled with light, it chases that darkness away. Now this reminds me of one of my favorite Buddhist quotes. Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle. Happiness never decreases by being shared. I love that. Think about that. Being part of love and light spreading and expanding in the world. It's a powerful vision. And fear and darkness, they disappear in light. So yes, what I'm calling a spiritual law here is actually practical advice for us. I guess all we can do is try it, right? Let's spread some smiles today. Let's see what happens. Remember, this doesn't have to be a big project. Just do it in your own way. Every single person, yep, you too, everybody has some ability to bring more light into the world. There's no rules. No one's judging. There's no wrong way. Spread some joy around in whatever way is natural to you. You know, even wishing somebody well in your mind or praying for a person will work. It's the same thing. The important thing is to be focused on another and not on yourself. And I'll tell you something. Sometimes the most insignificant act for good can have far-reaching consequences. Oh, I can testify to it. I've seen it time and again in this world. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Get used to it. So let's spread a little light today. Let's do our small part to reinforce the good in the world. There might be somebody out there who's lost in darkness, and maybe it's your smile or maybe your kind word or deed that rejuvenates their faith in mankind or in life. You never know. Sometimes the smallest thing can do a world of good. Oh, there's a lot of hurting souls out there. Let's be kind and show them some love. Let them know they're worth it. And in turn, letting that beautiful light flow through you, it's going to have an effect on you. Oh, I promise. I do. It's going to feel wonderful. And from that place of light, well, better face your own stuff, right? When you're ready, give it a try. See what happens. Now, of course, what I'm trying to do here is open your heart to spiritual ideas. Sometimes, though, when dealing with anxiety or depression, the problem isn't spiritual. So while all these ideas are good, they're not going to be the whole answer. Now, if that's the case for you, please don't be afraid to seek professional help if you need it. I've done it myself. There's no shame in it. There's a lot of wonderful people out there ready and able to help. You don't have to go through this stuff alone. All right. Well, the clock is winding down here. So as always, I truly enjoy this time we spend together. Hopefully, some of my words can give you some insight or comfort that you need. And you know, when I talk about this stuff and I share it, that comforts me. I'm learning too. And you know what they say? The best way to really learn something is to teach it, right? So, we're helping each other here. I'm grateful for that. Anyway, before we part ways, let's just take a few minutes now and sit with this and affirm these ideas. Let's just relax a second, take a deep breath. Let's try and be peaceful. Let's start out the meditation today by thinking of a person you know who is in need. Now I want you to say it out loud now. I want this person, say their name. I want this person to have a good day. If you're feeling generous, let's be generous. It won't hurt. Try envisioning something happening to that person that makes them happy or solves a problem they have. Try it. All right, let's do it. Picture their smiling face. See the look of wonder on their face because something wonderful has happened. Feels good, doesn't it? And something wonderful has happened. With that small thought that you chose to think, you've just increased the power of love in the world. If we all did that a little more, oh, what a place this world would be. Okay, well, keep at it. And we'll talk more about this next time we're together. Till then, I'm wishing good things for each and every one of you. And I'm wishing you strength to get through whatever you're going through. and I hope you find your peace and joy today. May Spirit protect you and bring you abiding peace till we meet again. Okay, take care of yourself, my friend. I'll be back soon.
You've been listening to Comfort Food for Thought with Chris James. For more information and links to our social media, please visit us at our website, www.comfortfoodforthought.com. Thanks for listening.